Oh yeah, the moves are coming in, Tiaki. Welcome back to CNL, folks. Our final game here of day one of playoffs. Tiaki, I think it's time we lock in a little bit because this is no laughing matter. This is serious business. One of these next two teams, they're going to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, AG up against 4 Angry Men. These guys are in the upper bracket semi-finals, beating out their first game 2-1 up against Wolves for AG. And on the opposite end, 4 Angry Men beating out OneCoin 2-0 respectively. They've now had the chance to go up against teams in their opposite siding brackets. But for now, we go to the upper semi-finals. All Gamers versus 4 Angry Men. One of these two teams is bound to qualify to the major in Salt Lake City for 2026. And of course, if they make it through as well, they also get in CN 2026, excuse me, and both stage 1 and stage 2. So there's a lot on the line. You lose this, you go down to the lower bracket quarterfinals, and then you need to fight your way to get through to the semi-finals. Of course, that doesn't mean we're all done. We've still got grand finals and lower finals to kick it on to, but Travi, this game's going to be an absolute banger.
This is going to be a heater. I've been looking forward to this one for ages. We were saying a little bit before the break, right? All Gamers, 4 Angry Men, 2 huge Chinese organizations. And now they get to go head-to-head with one another in this best of 3 to decide who's the first one to qualify for the major. Not only that, Tiaki, but it's qualifying through the upper bracket portion. It also means that you get to keep yourself with that possibility of skipping to phase 2. That's the big thing right now. If you qualify through the upper final, win the grand final, you skip phase 1, you skip play, and you go straight to Swiss stage. It's where you want to be. And for these two teams, it's a very important game.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like, everything is down on the line with this game, and the lineups say it all. Take 4 Angry Men, for example. Gotti there, TX only, later, excuse me, Darsley. I keep saying these names wrong, but it doesn't really matter. Rockstar Car. All of these players have been doing exceptionally well, and looking at their rankings overall within the entirety of the CNL Kickoff, TX only, the big boy, the big boss. We see him MVP almost every game. He has been playing exceptionally well, and out of all the players, he's actually the 5th highest rated player so far. Darsley, Rockstar, and Gotti, respectively, 8th, 9th, and 11th. And finally, for Lida, it is 33 for him. But 4 Angry Men, they're a team that cannot be counted out. On the opposite end, it's Yaza, Railgun, Macy, Solo Mid, and of course, Moonlight as well. So 4 Angry Men, pretty interesting roster lineup coming into this. They'll be playing the exact same as they were before. They're warm.
They're warm. They're toasty. And All Gamers as well, don't get me wrong, they've had their win today. They won their first game nice and early this morning. And they've had a little bit of a break to sit back and study your opponent, kind of watch who's going to be winning that one. Maybe you've taken some notes away from that one on how 4 Angry Men want to do. Head-to-head here between 2 of the top gunners on each of these teams. Moonlight, TX only. Both have had an incredible lights-out performance here in the CNL so far. Neck and neck in terms of EPS. Look at that, 1 point between them, Tiaki. But for me, it's the difference in operators, the difference in roles they're playing. You look at Moonlight, he's playing more traditional, fragging, aggressive roles. TX only, something a bit where you sit back a little bit more, maybe on the Twitch, just zapping away on the drones. But once you get off that drone, he's clicking heads with the F2.
Yeah, the lineups, I mean, Ella, that is an operator that essentially runs around the map and frags. It is essential to use a few of her canisters to just slow down potential pushes. Trap operator, basically, with a high fire rate weapon, that Scorpion Evo just demolishes players on the opposition team if given the chance. And of course, on the opposite side for TX only, is Army. More of your, like, play back sort of operator, playing a bit further back, trying to avoid getting really taken off in the early stages, especially with those Kiba barriers, excuse me. But for the most part, it just shows the difference in caliber. Moonlight, gun, run, he does everything. He is entry. He is there to find kills. TX only, while a little bit more reserved, manages to do it as impressive, if not more impressive, than what Moonlight has done. But going into this, it changes on its head. Now you have teams of equal caliber going up against each other. And I mean, so far, AG, they've only lost one map in the CNL.
Yep. And it was a silly map of silly proportions. That border, we got the pleasure of casting that one this morning, Tiaki. Let me tell you, it was like a fever dream. It was chaotic, it was confusing. Lots of crazy rush plant attempts from both AG and Wolves, but ultimately at the end of the day, we're not seeing border here again, and I think that's a wise pick from all gamers. We will be seeing Fortress, we will be seeing Lair, and we will be seeing Labs. I am all here for this veto. What an absolute banger set of maps.
Well, you said it. Fortress hasn't been made yet within the CNL. So seeing it today, we get to finally see its appearance. And 4 Angry Men, surprisingly, are the people that decide to choose it. And of course, for AG, they'll go on to the defensive side. So big ups to them. Moving on to Leia as well as the second map. All gamers picking that up. Absolutely huge as well. A different map, something that players are a bit further back on, and not exactly what you'd expect from them. But for last, Nighthaven Labs as the decider.
Oh, it's going to be a one. I mean, would it be a CNL game without Nighthaven Labs? Apologies, but she's just having a breakdown in my ears right now. Producer is just dying. Tiaki, this is replays are ready. Let's go to the replays. Get us off camera so we can. I am. We're being lied to. Let's prepare. Ready? Okay, we're ready. Hold on, we got it in our ear. We're ready. Stand by. Tiaki, how's your day going while we're waiting? Because the production takes forever. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Replays. We need to play the replay of what? And welcome back on in, folks, to our first major qualification game here in the China League kickoff season of Rainbow Six Siege. Tiaki, it's been hotly anticipated all day long. I've been waiting for this one to see which of the 2 quarterfinalists are going to be here in the semis, qualifying their way through on towards the final biggest stage they could want to be on here, the major. The teams are coming out onto the stage. We're getting ready for it, and honestly, I cannot wait to get stuck into Fortress.
Yes, absolutely. Now let's get in for a quick second on the teams as they make their entrance to the floor. It's 4 a.m. going up against All Gamers. All Gamers so far being the team to beat. They've been top of the leaderboard in the playoff stage, in the kickoff stage, I believe they called it. And now coming into this, they're going up against 4 a.m. We saw a little bit of confusion coming in a bit earlier in the day from All Gamers. They struggled on border just that little bit, but for the most part, they still showed why they are the team to beat. 4 Angry Men, no real issues with them. 1 coin almost getting a little bit knocked over there, but for the most part, 4 Angry Men seem a little bit angry at the moment.
They do look really angry off at the moment. And it was what TX only said going out of our previous game interview, right, wasn't it, Tiaki? It was coming hot off the iron here to qualify to the Salt Lake City Major. For me, this game feels a little bit like a home away from home. Or, mum, we have EML at home. Because if you notice, the coaches standing behind the teams, they are European coaches, the pair of them. So we basically have EML back in this lovely arena because the EML games last night were shocking. So let's hope these games are better.
Shout out to the EML. Anyway,
yeah,
going back here for this evening, of course. Look, it's got to be said, All Gamers, they've got to be the favorites here, going straight into it. So far, they've been an unstoppable force. And 4 Angry Men have shown up, though, against the top teams. We saw them barely struggle with Wolves. We saw them barely struggle against EDG in a lot of these cases, and just basically every single way that they have been playing so far says to me, like, this is a top contender team quite easily in the CNL. There is no doubt about that. This is where they need to stand their ground. This is where they need to find a flow state. And I think Fortress as the first pick, it's a massive map to try and get it on. It would make sense. Why not throw your opponents into the same uncomfortable situation that you're throwing yourself into?
Get your opponents somewhere uncomfortable for them. It was a gamble taken by all gamers earlier. Didn't quite work out for them in their game earlier on against the Wolves. But the community vote is clear, Tiaki. The favourites, the only team to go flawless in groups here, expected to now take this map, take this series. 78% favour there, going the way of all gamers. As we head in towards Fortress for the first time in the CNL, what do these teams have cooking up on the latest addition to the map pool? Only time will tell.
Well, the bands, they begin to make their way through, and straight off the bat, it is the Grim and Bandits. So, Hardwall Breach, not available for them. Will be available for them. Hardwall Denial is not available. That's what I meant to say. Clash and Montaigne, impactful shield operators, both on the defensive and attacking side. So getting them off the board real early sends a sense of they're a little bit concerned if they come into play. That still leaves a few different operators though. You've still got the Blitz, you've still got the Blackbeard on the side of the attacking end, and on the opposite end for the defensive side, well, there's not really many options available for you guys in terms of shields. So it's going to need to be somewhat of a different lineup, and immediately all I am seeing from the opposition team is let's get a few trap operators in there. Let's get a few operators that can slow down passage of play, and let's see if we can find some early rounds here as AG go on the defense.
For Angry Ben, looking at the flip side on what they're bringing towards their attack here, it's a fairly standard push across here, as you would expect to see from the side of any sort of prospering offense here on Fortress. You're going to see that Cinch, you're going to see that Deimos, Glaz, all for operators that signify for Angry Men. They want to play aggressive, they want to take space quite quickly. We get the overhead of Fortress here. There is a lot of map to clear through for this one in their offense, and all of the traps that you mentioned, Tiaki. Angry gamers, all gamers, they're going to be using those traps extensively to waste as much time as possible.
Well, immediately it's going to be clearance on to that first floor, maybe giving them a potential angle straight downstairs and pushing straight up onto that main stairs section. Of course, that's the lobby stairs that they will be making their potential way up onto the second floor as well. Clearance is going to be made towards the courtyard tower, potentially granting an entry point in that position. I'm really liking this lineup coming in from 4 a.m. Bringing the Sens, bringing the Glaz, putting a bit of pressure on the opposition side, and ooh, maybe a few shots from below. AG gonna need to be a little bit careful here.
They are indeed. Need to be really sure just to not overextend themselves through these drone holes. We've seen AG take advantage of them earlier on today, and it'd be a shame to see them on the flip side here to start this one off. Position of Moonlight is going to be droned on out now, facing a lot of pressure there. You can see one on the staircase, one outside on the window, using the Keeper barricades to kind of segment, to isolate these attackers where they can. But the Keeper barricades, they don't last long. You see the player on the staircase, you have to be careful of him, but the pipe forces you on the way back there, burning these Keepers as much as you can, but ultimately it's not going to amount much. You have to commit and catch the sense while they're reloading. Beautiful pick on towards Gotti there, trying to fish for a second, but just take your life back to the site as the second kill follows suit.
Immediate answer back from AG. Potential angles found out, but there's no potential point for a kill there. Everything has been beautifully set up. TX only enters the round, manages to find one with a shotgun. Now the Deimos begins to hunt, searching for these players from underneath. They'll need to move themselves out of these unfortunate positions, and it looks like that's the idea. Not really wanting to give away too much just yet as the round continues on. Warden positioned upstairs will be the next track target. Keep your eye on the Glaz, and of course onto the Capital. Entry points and potential exits. Yaz says absolutely not. That Glaz is not welcome in my lobby. Solo mid will answer it back as well. TX only, the MVP from the last series, is now by himself looking for a potential entry point. He finds the first. That's gonna be the death of the Ella. as a potential push point will need to come through. Nades up and available, will remove a piece of utility sitting close, but with every angle watched and kept and watched and kept, there's no other really option that TX only could really have there.
All gamers looking fired up after a pretty dominant first round showing for themselves there. The aggressive plays, the fast pushes that were challenged out by 4am just completely shut on down there on the ingress round. Not able to find themselves the ground that they wanted to in due time. Got to give a lot of that towards that Azami player. The keeper barricades being put up time and time again. Just an increasing amount, ever so much more utility to chew through for that attack. Really let them struggle on in now. We continue the side rotation, of course, going over towards Storms and Games to see what all gamers have offer for us here.
Well, site and games. What does that say to me? Well, that's clearance. Every single side of this second floor will need to be cleared. Multiple avenue points are up and available, especially when you consider Shisha hallway and the lounge section as well. Clearances in towards courtyard will also need to be made, but you don't really have too many options in towards the site. Yes, there is an option to get into the hallway from the outside, but to really make that clearance in towards the site is so incredibly difficult. And look at how extended all gamers have decided to play. They put players straight back in the commander's office, and it just seems to be like they want full control of this second floor setup.
They want this control. They really need to be able to try and find it here for Angry Men. It's another game of time. It's another game of just making sure they're able to clear through quickly. 2 defenders identified here for TX only on the day. Moss going to go underneath, and with the amount of soft floor above him, it's a great opportunity to apply some of that vertical pressure, something this operator really, really excels at. For now, though, it's just slow and steady for this attack, and I think it's a great way to be playing this one here. All gamers, they like the aggression. They're happy to take those gunfights, so don't give them the opportunity to do so. Just wait them out.
Well, Thermite set up on the outside will not be accessible and not be able to be used thanks to the cryogenic canisters coming in from Moonlight. Tuberal, such an interesting operator to bring on the board that can slow down the potential passage of play for any team. With the clearances needing to be made, and Moonlight answers once again. It's going to be the MVP taken off the board. MVP versus MVP violence there, Travi.
Oh, here's MVP violence. The two gunners of these teams really wanted to get involved and make their mark known on side of this match, but either one unable to really find a big impact here. 4v4, 1 minute 20 left on the clock. Defense doing well to hold their ground, but the attack, they're starting to edge their way closer.
As looking for a long angle, not able to spot the player all the way at the end. Just fires a few pre-shots, maybe getting a little bit close, but it looks like already we're starting to see a bit of a collapse. Shisha has not even been considered by 4am. Instead, they're going for the courtyard approach, and they need to find a clearance point in towards the site. Thermite charge, the second, is going to be used up as pressure placed in towards the game side or briefing room side of the map. And so far, Macy looking to play so close, but again, it's just everything being opened up. He needs to reaggress to a different position. Will be able to do so, but with 30 seconds on the board, Travi, it's getting a little bit spicy.
It's getting tight. That's the big thing right now for 4 Angry Men. They need to make a move and they need to make it quickly. But good crosses being held out here on towards the balcony are going to prevent any entry from Rockstar there. First one to fall. All gamers holding ground well for the time being as the 15-second marks hit. This attack really needs to get a move on. Flashbangs in towards site, but no affecting your own teammates. Instead, going to be causing the death of Darsley there. And MC just coming alive inside of this one. Though 2 quick kills from 4 Angry Men. Turn this one back around. It's all up to Lida here to come up huge in a 1v2. We'll be able to find it down the first, but time will be the savior of the second. All gamers 2-0 up right now.
That pre-fire shot at the very end was so close. If that player had just moved out of position slightly, that bullet could have ricocheted and potentially, not even ricocheted, just could have been shot and found the head of the opposition player. But this is exactly what we were talking about. All gamers coming in with complete and utter strategic dominance. Every single way that they're they've been playing so far is a direct counter and an answer back to 4 angry men. Look, they're playing Fortress in a different way to the way that we've seen a lot of teams go through it. They've taken off, didn't decide to go through Shisha control on that upstairs section, and instead decided to go through courtyard. Different sort of playstyle coming into effect in that position, even with the phantom pressure placed on the opposite side of the map. So it's beautiful plays coming in from 4 angry men, but I think all gamers, they're just used to this somehow. Some way they've come into the match and gone, you know what, Fortress, you may think you know the map, you may think we don't, but we could show you that we can easily compete on your level.
Yeah, this is the thing right now. 4 angry men, they wanted to come here. This was their choice. This was where they wanted to be. And right now, the tertiary bomb site is your best possible opportunity here to get things on the board. Get yourself some rounds, because if not, a 3-0 lead, flawless quarter for all gamers, can be very, very concerning for 4 AM. So we'll see how this round transpires. Immediately though, we're seeing this sort of roam clear combo, the Blackbeard and the Solid Snake. They're going to be tearing through this map, really trying to make sure that 4 angry men aren't pressured by the clock yet again.
Well, it's good to see the Solid Snake making his appearance on the board once again. That pressure placed on every single side of the map just from his appearance. And we love to have him in the game as of recent, but for now it's clearance made up onto that second floor. Control inside of Games Room, immediately opening up a lot of that vertical angle down to the bottom floor, putting a lot of pressure in towards Cafeteria, and players surrounding that area, including inside of Infirmary, as we are seeing Railgun just sitting inside of there. Need to be careful. Any of these positions given away could cost them a lot of oppression and a lot of harassment on the board. Pressure, as a general whole, could be taken off in quite a variety of ways here.
You can find ways to alleviate this pressure. There's options available to you right now inside of Fountain. Here comes Darsley on the Solid Snake. Just unfortunately the defenders nearby, just ever so slightly out of radius. And you can see Lider up above wanting to get involved in it, but with no information to play off of, you'd be jumping into the blinds there. And that's maybe not the way you want to go for this one. The hopping comes on through outside Laundry side. Gotti will be the one to find the first. Rockstar follows up with a second on towards Railgun here. While the Capitals on the midst of their own fire, straight into the sideline of the TCSG. All gamers, they've been able to find one back, but is it enough?
Solo mid, Yaz, last 2 players remaining. 4v2 scenario, 50 seconds on the board. A bit of movement being made now as the pings will come out. Solid Snake finds both of the members, knows exactly where they're positioned. Blackbeard coming in to emphasize that pressure on the opposition team, and it looks like it's actually been identified. Yaz, he knows he's been snuck out. He knows his position has been known. Manages to move away from the location straight into the eyes of TX. Only 2 players remaining on the board. Solo mid tries to make a bit of a play, but 4 angry men, I was about to say all gamers, 4 angry men managed to secure the round. Surprisingly, however, that was the tertiary site there, Travi, not the primary or secondary.
So, by all things consideration, by a round count, it's probably what I would argue is decent for a Fortress there. 2 rounds on the defense, 1 to follow on the attack. We keep going this way. We're looking at a 4-2 split here, 4 angry men. I think on their map pick, on their half, they might want a little bit more than that. I'd probably be aiming for a 3-3 as a benchmark split here. But for all gamers, I don't think they'll be too disimpressed with how that one went out there. The Cade and then the Glaz band to follow, which is quite interesting because I know we saw quite a bit of Glaz, but I didn't really feel he was the biggest problem there.
Glaz only really making his impact known in 2 rounds. There wasn't as much, and you're completely right with that statement, there wasn't as much of an impact as we normally expect from the Glaz being brought into play. So seeing it banned off the board, I mean, look, it stops a lot of operators being picked as a result. You stop a lot of those that have smokes, stop a lot of those that operate like sends. Just a variety of different things, and it requires a bit of adjustment to the lineup coming in from the attacking team. Immediately though, we are seeing the same sort of operators being picked up for the same sort of consideration. You've got the Tachanka coming in. That just slows down any potential approach by a massive amount of time. Solo mid still jumping on to the smoke as well. A lot of traps up and available, and surprisingly, something that we didn't see initially within the first round, the mirror makes its appearance.
It does. This is something that all gamers I've recognised they'll do a few times here. They'll take a power operator that they really enjoy playing. Previously today it was the Clash. Today it seems like it's going to be the Mirror. They won't play them in the first 3 rounds of their defensive half. Why? Because what it means is then you cannot ban them out there. So the second ban in the when the first quarter finishes, that comes on through. In this case, they've taken off the Kaid for Angry Men. You can now play the Mirror freely for the remainder of your regulation rounds. Plus, if we get to overtime, which I think all gamers will recognise against a team of this calibre, it's a very real possibility. You then have the option to keep playing on that Mirror. So leaving her open, leaving her available, really good pick for them. And it's essentially forced Rockstar there to go on towards the Twitch.
Well, once again, we have the same sort of playstyle coming into effect. The Deimos positioned downstairs looking for a potential opportunity, but it's shotgun v shotgun. It's a double push coming straight in. Solo mid manages to get one, but he will knock down the second. The smoke grenade not able to confirm the kill, but it doesn't really matter because Moonlight has figured out a way straight up and through. He'll get traded off, and that's actually a massive pick on the side of 4AM, losing the smoke from Solo mid, losing the Zami, the keeper barriers, puts a big sting in their backside.
I'm going to be blunt, Tiagi. I don't think that aggression there from the side of all gamers was worth it. They should have just gotten that one pick they got and backed off from that situation. Double dip and triple down, and that's exactly what's put them in this situation. A 3 versus 3 now, sure, well, you still got the Shimikas of the Tachanka available to you. This attack, they're ready for it. They've got 70 seconds left to work with here. It's an eternity of time. You see the RAU projectors there across Yaz's line of sight, rather. Whether he's able to spring anything off for there, but it does seem like 4 Angry Men are aware to where these players are playing. So it's just a kind of waiting game now, and it's ensuring that Shimika doesn't get an opportunity to shine in the late rounds.
Slowing down for a potential execute. The positions have been identified as all members from the side of 4AM meet up on their side of the map. Where is Yaz, however? Or Railgun. It looks like they're in a bit of off positions, almost getting spotted out, but it's Railgun to answer straight back. Has that massive weapon, the dinner plate, up and available as Yaz will confirm the kill on Agori. It leaves one member remaining. It is a Twitch against the Tachanka. Lower fire rates be damned. As the Tachanka manages to pick up the kill, all gamers secure all of their sides on the primary site of defense.
A closer affair, sure. You know, it was closer than it was the first round, but yeah, Tiaki, you're right on that. You've got the primary bomb site down under lock and key twice. You're going to look to repeat on the secondary, and then if you can squeeze out that tertiary round here right now as well, that would be great. All gamers, they're just playing with their signature brand of aggression here, and this is what I've been waiting to see over the last couple of weeks here in the CNL. 2 really good teams going head to head with each other, with that sort of signature CNL style we're starting to get to know, where these teams want to play aggressive, they want to play fast, they want to really be frag heavy with one another. All gamers doing a phenomenal job right now, and I'm really impressed with what we're seeing from them on the new map.
Well, Denari makes his appearance as well. First time we've seen him in this series. Of course, we saw him considerably in the last few series and the rest of the play days. Teams love this Denari pick and love using it. But of course,
Boomer.
on the side of on the opposite side, the Deimos picked up again, and that just shows you how much, as a general whole, how much verticality there is in the map. There is so many options, so many areas where that verticality can come into play. We saw Ram being used earlier in the match, and of course, Deimos being used on a consistent basis. It makes a lot of sense. You can figure out where a lot of players are positioned. But what we're seeing from 4 Angry Men is not what we were expecting to see, as all gamers just seem to be running the control over them at this stage.
4 Angry Men playing for control, but then it's just not going to go on through for them, because like you say, Tiaki, All gamers then ready to play for it. They're ready to test for it. AEG really just slowing this attack down to a screeching halt right now. That's the biggest thing I've noticed here inside of this one. Look at how slow 4 Angry Men are to actually make their initial entry in towards the building here. We're dawdling on top of the rooftop, 60 seconds in, and sure, it's not the end of the world yet. We're starting to approach that point now where I'd like to see a little bit more progress made by this point in the round. Keep frontline defender positions where they've got fullbacks available to them. They're not even being pressured yet, and they've still got those, as I mentioned, those fullbacks to go back to. They have options right now for all gamers. 4 Angry Men need to pick up the pace drastically.
A little bit of tension being placed on the map so far. A little bit of pressure on each side. First peak potentially coming through at this stage, but it looks like it's just going to be dodged. Solo mid finds himself in a correct position once again, and that's just the information that they need. Potential drops up and available, but it's going to be a slowed down section of play. They know that this player is sitting on that close angle. They've got the players ready, set to drop straight onto it. And it looks like that may be the idea. Drops to come straight through, but no one's been able to find the kill. It's shotguns in hand. Tachanka is still here and burning people alive.
With all the drones, with all the information we had on that smoke, surely we noticed Railgun is there, because like, you've thrown 2 bodies at the problem for Angry Men. You've not dislodged that player. Solo mid still there, not giving a damn. Sure, one's MC's going to fall elsewhere, but immediately that Tachanka's back into position. Hold the phone just a second, diffuser's going down, and I don't think all gamers have a clue it's hitting the ground right now. Kit hit the floor. Jamaica launcher is going to be popped, but so are the players on the side of all gamers here as they're reduced to just 1. Solo mid now left in a 1v2 to try and salvage this round.
Left down, 30 seconds remaining on the board. Movement needing to be made. The Deimos has been spotted out. They know the position of 1. Solo mid manages to find his way out of the situation, but needs to make this clearance. And the Deimos is just playing cat and mouse. It's all the information that he needs. Solo decides to get a little bit aggressive, but with this timer slowly going down, he's going to need to hold it. Decides to get aggressive on the angle, not able to do so. And 4 Angry Men answer straight back. 1 round differential, and we're going in to the final round in the half. And you can see the smiles on their side, but all gamers, they'll need to reset, readjust for the next round, and hopefully they can secure it. We'll bring it a 4-2 half. That's exactly what they would want to see on this map. However, a 3-3, I'm sure 4 Angry Men wouldn't be too mad with that.
They'll be happy with that one, certainly. And I've got to give them some real credit inside of that round there. Being able to totally pivot your attack from what was going to be down that sort of hatch drop side from tower, all the way to sort of go around, instead go from Shisha balcony. Being able to relocate those options that late into the round when pushing out that smoke didn't work. And then finding a gap from that. Whoever made that call inside the team, pat yourself on the back. 4 Angry Men, that's what saved a half for them, saved a round. And like you say, Tiaki, they can now get an even split out of this one, which would be a massive benefit for them going into their defenses.
Well, 10 seconds on to the board. Well, 10 seconds remaining in their half. So we see quite an interesting lineup coming in from all gamers, and surprisingly, it looks like we're going to be making a bit of a switch. We're going back downstairs once again into cafeteria and into kitchen. So it's quite surprising that we're going back down here in a series game, but it feels like all gamers are kind of feeling a bit comfortable so far. They're not really too concerned. The lineup is a little bit different to what we've been seeing from them. Moonlight bringing in the Boz G, the pop gun, as a lot of people call it. Macy jumping onto the Solar, so a bit of a different set of lineups for now. As Rockstar will need to be very careful about his position, because he knows if he starts to make a push, he might get immediately aggressed on. The Solus has so much information on the board, and here is where things will start to get interesting. 2 minutes and 10 seconds, Travi. And it looks like we got a bit of territorial control.
It's going to be that battle for the territory over here towards Hamam's side. Where can we dislodge these Romans? Where can we go first? Logic Bomb's going to be deployed there. A kill to follow on towards Moonlight. The Vigil extended out there on the Boss G will be shut on down. That's the thing. The Vigil, he can survive the Deimos, he can survive the Lion, but he cannot outlast the Logic Bomb. Second kill to follow suit here. A slow, steady clear coming through for 4 Angry Men right now. And here inside of Hamam, it's going to be MC, but caught out by the flashbang there, completely blinded the attack. Going to push on in, start to take this territory. Look at this Tiaki. He's surrounded. He's on his own. He's got no way out.
Well, no way out may be exactly what he's looking for. He starts to push on, but it's immediately traded straight back. Perfect plays on both sides of the board. It's time to get a little bit aggressive, AG. You need to find a few kills, and this may catch Yaz off guard. Yes, it does. TX only making a very late push into the round. 4 Angry Men managed to equalize it on AG's defensive side. It's absolutely huge, absolutely massive from them.
Wasn't it, Tiaki? I love the halftime timeouts, and I'm glad we actually get to hear them in English here, because all the other regions, they don't listen to the coaches. They bring the analyst desks in or have a bit of a jam session. Here we get to listen to what the coaches are saying to the players, and it's really fun to see how teams are utilizing this new addition to roster, right? Because it's totally different to what we've had before in Siege.
Yeah, just getting the time to hear exactly the comms that happen between these games. You see the composure that a lot of the players need to have, especially with the coaches being right there and having the ability to just talk to the coaches. It's so fascinating and captivating to see all just the chats that they have and the communication that they bring within that round half most of the time. And that's a great example right there from what we saw. You actually get to hear from their end the motivation that they provide to their team. It's not so much about, hey, look, we got strategies. Hey, look, change this up, change that. Maybe the first minute, but for the most part, with most of the communication is, look, you guys have got this. You're doing this right. Keep doing it. Nothing's wrong. Keep going. Like, motivation upon motivation, keeping that mental in the game. And that's what we love about Rainbow Six Siege.
I feel inspired now after that. Hearing those timeouts, Tiaki, that makes me inspired. So I'm going to go into ranked. I'm going to drop a donut. I'm going to go 0-7. And I'm going to blame one of the other guys for it. Probably the guy top fragging the team. That's how that speech makes me feel. And that's what these coaches are hoping to have, that kind of an impact on their players. Maybe minus the dropping a donut bit. Shields are going to be the name of the game here for all gamers. Sending in Montaigne. He survives the ban phase. No shields removed, so they'll have all 3 of them available for the first few rounds, and then probably 1 gone for the second. But for now, it's the Montaigne straight on towards it. Solo mid going to be leading the charge on through, applying pressure. This was a strategy that has worked really well for them in the past games. Whether 4 Angry Men, though, are going to let them do it or not, that's what I'm starting to worry about, because 4 Angry Men are a high-quality opponent. I don't know if they're going to be so easily pushed over by the big man with a shield.
Once again, it all comes down to control, locking down territory before making the potential push in play. Deimos, once again, both teams really liking this Deimos pick, but look how much ground has already been capitalized on. It's a direct pushover. This Deimos has not been recognized. Somehow manages to get away. How did that happen? And somehow God, he managed to get him. There were multiple opportunities there for Moonlight to find a kill, but it just wasn't there.
That's so unfortunate. That hurts. That's tragic, that one there. Staring in towards the objective. Chanka holding the angle, and somehow, some way, Gotti finds a miracle pick. 4 Angry Men with the opening pick here inside of the second half of the game. You get a Deimos nonetheless. That's a big pressure maker here. Sure, you still got the shield. Sure, you still got the Montaigne, but hopping through the hallway now, going up towards Horse. First one to fall on the side of 4 Angry Men will go down. Diffuser hitting the ground as we speak as well here. And I'm not entirely sure this defense are aware of it, because now they're going to have to scramble. Now they're going to have to panic. First one to drop on the side of Angry get. All gamers will go. But now they've got to try and get 3 more before the counter defusing.
Let's count it down. 33 seconds onto the board. Direct pushes coming in from the rest of the team. They need to make a clearance onto this Montaigne, but somehow he's still up. He's still alive. Yaz manages to find 2, opening up the round just that little bit more. It's TX only against the world, but Yaz manages to find it, and you can see the happiness on his face. All gamers answering back beautifully.
Exactly what you want to see from a team coming in towards the half now. They've come in, they've made a statement play, despite the chaos, let's say, that occurred on wall facing in towards the objective. They've been able to get their site under lock and key, got the defuse down onto the ground, and been able to hold a successful-ish post plan from there. So really great stuff there from the side of all gamers. For Angry Men, I don't think they'll be beating themselves up too much about that one. You're expecting that kind of play from all gamers to come through at some point, and if they recommit to it, you've seen how they've done it now, so you can punish them for that second attempt.
How hostile was Moonlight being there? He just decided, you know what? This doesn't matter to me. I'm all in. I'm finding the... Oh, whoa!
From the other POV, that's diabolical.
That is a diabolical shot coming in from Moonlight. No aim. Manages to find a beautiful headshot. Absolutely beautiful from him. But how insane was Moonlight there? Almost found the Tachanka in one position, almost found him in a second, moving around the entirety of that upstairs site very quickly, and it just shows you the difference in strategy. On the side of AG, they had a full extension made across the map to the point where there wasn't really many angles that you could potentially push. You had to make so much clearance or find a potential pick just to gain entry into some of the areas that were locked down by AG. 4AM, however, was a bit more anchored. They were a bit more locked in towards the site, and that seemed to allow for Moonlight to just go on the run, finding kills, finding open angles, and at this stage, I mean, I should take it back. He wasn't able to find a kill, but there was so much room that he created with his death.
Significant amount. Now we're heading in towards round number 8 here. For Angry Men, going to be going a very trap-heavy lineup here. You got the Fawn, Ella, Denari, Azami, and a Tachanka as well. And speaking of Tachanka, I think this might be the region where he actually gets picked the most. Like, I cannot recall any other game, any other region where we see this much of the Lord's presence blessing him all the time here. I love it. I'm honestly a big fan of him.
Yeah, it's good to see the dinner plate making its appearance with him as well, of course. However, coming into this 3-4 scenario, Shield is going to be spotted all the way down in the back of Shisha and all the way back to down towards Old Tower. So not a lot of movement just yet, as the damage is going to be dealt, but immediately TX only goes for a flank. It's cut off straight off the back, and Travi, it's looking like we're about to see things absolutely go off.
God, he wanted to take matters into his own hands there. Will pay the price for it. Does a lot of damage on towards MC, and that's going to cost him his life there in the gunfight against Lida, who finds 2 back the other direction. Rockstar's fallen down elsewhere, though, keeping all gamers in the advantage right now. Death mark on the head of the Tachanka. He's still able to stay alive, survive it on through, but not the second trail of bullets coming in from Railgun. It's all down to Darsley now in a 1v3 position. Pops the keeper barricade, looks to get aggressive, get some control over the foot presence of this site. Deathmark comes in, protect yourself from the bottom, but you should worry about what's in front of you, my friend. All gamers now taking a 2-round lead here on their offense.
It feels like almost that 4 Angry Men are kind of feeling uncomfortable on their map pick. Everything doesn't seem to be connecting in the right way. Something is going wrong in the way that they're kind of approaching it. And then even when they were on the attacking side, we saw a lot of advantages in their play. They took the time to slow everything down, provide a potential point of execution, and in some cases it worked really well. In others, like what we're seeing now, there hasn't really been a direct answer straight back. So going into it, all gamers just feel like they're kind of locking this down quite easily without any sort of engagement really being provided by 4AM.
One more round you can play with the Montaigne on the board here for all gamers, and It looks like that's what they're going to hop to do here inside of this one, because it's very high likelihood he does get banned here. But look at this. How do you get away with that with the shield? And then you get that extra pick as well. It's just beautiful stuff there from the Tachanka, and really holding the line the best you can, but unfortunately just can't stand up to the might of All Gamers, who now have an opportunity to close out match point here and steal their moments map pick from them. This could be a massive opportunity for a statement.
Well, a bit of a push potentially to come through on this first floor, gaining a little bit of an opening angle and potentially pushing straight through from the second side of lobby. Whether or not there's going to be a counteraction here, it's TX only really being the only player in a position to counteract this play. Immediately on the opposite side, it's Identify. Geisha was the concept, or Homan, I should say, was the concept for their setup, and it's immediately being broken through. Moonlight with an angle that I haven't ever seen before, but yes, definitely has. Potentially looking for a jump in point on this opposite side. Hello, Montaigne. Goodbye, Rockstar. Time to get out of there as quickly as possible and avoid getting shot in the back as the rotation is made.
Pulling on back now here for the side of 4Angry. This is much of the thing you said though, Tiaki. They're not really comfortable here on their own mapping. All gamers move an inch, and 4Angry Men fall back by like a whole mile. It's what it feels like there. Did you really need to forfeit all of that control so immediately? Probably not. No, you could have held on to it for at least a couple more seconds, and a couple more seconds over the course of a round. That can rapidly build up. So, but the Solace on the top floor, largely uncontested for a moment. If she can find the head of one of these attackers when they're not looking her way, it could be a nice free, easy pick to turn the tides of this one.
TX only playing on the back end. Gotti as well in an upstaged position. It looks like he's going to be spotted out and potentially have to fall back in towards the site. Minute and 10 seconds remaining. Movement in towards the site is needed. But with the amount of droning, it's not really going to allow them too much time to find all the information that is up and available. Thermite charge will go through. Entry point into the site up and now available, but keep your eye on TX only. He's been able to get behind the enemy lines even just slightly. The Montaigne is there. It's a kill to go through. Yas has found one, but trying to go back and forth. There's nothing really up and available. 2v4 scenario. Rockstar versus Lighter, or Rockstar with Lighter versus them all. Moonlight, solo mid, Yaz and Macy all set in towards the site. Plant opportunity almost available in towards this B bomb site. Clearance needing to be made on Rockstar. That should be the information given to push him straight off. But as I say that, pistol in hand, you're out of here, buddy.
That's the big factor right now inside of this one. There's 10 seconds left to go, and all of a sudden it's Yaz on his lonesome, on his own, trying to salvage this round, but just too far away to make anything happen there. Finally on their defense on the tertiary site of all places, Tiaki, 4Angry Men will get themselves their first and a half here and make sure that All Gamers do not go flawless, and more importantly, keep them away from that ever so dangerous match point.
But it's got to get you thinking, right? You've been able to secure your tertiary site. Great. Well done. It's locked down. It's the hardest site commonly to control. Now you have primary. Now you have secondary. These are the two sites that you haven't been able to lock down yet, that you had a decent chance of struggle, and that most teams on a consistent basis will have practice, will have scrimmed, will have prepped themselves with, even in just ranked. Even playing ranked games, they will be used to these maps. And on the opposite end, it just causes so many potential issues. This was a beautiful start by TX only. Unfortunately, he couldn't really capitalize on it at the very end, getting caught. But for the most part, on the side of AG, they have to be feeling still more comfortable at this stage. 4Angry Men, they've got a big, hefty load to get off their back. It's now the first and secondary sites, and you're versing a team that will feel extremely comfortable with them.
This feels like a turning point for this game, Tiaki. After that previous round, can 4 Angry Men get things under lock and key? Can they solve their problems on these primary and secondary bomb sites like you mentioned? Or is this going to be a continued reign of all-gamer dominance here? It's an option for both sides. Ultimately, though, I think the pressure's on 4 Angry Men. This is their map pick, and you would assume, on their own map pick, they are comfortable on the defense of all places to be. A lot of electronic utility being brought by this defense, namely those Evil Eyes of the Maestro. So Solo Mid's immediately on towards the Brava, now to try and counteract that directly.
Well, utility, it's time to clear it off the board, and by using the Twitch, you can absolutely do that. Drones allow for so much to be removed, take into consideration the Brava, and of course, the Flores up and available as well. So much utility removal that is there. It will immediately be picked up by the Brava as clearance is made in towards the site. Potential angles. Oh, you bring a Maestro, but it looks like you're losing all your utility to them. As the Flores drone will begin to come through, information looking and trying to find where the rest of these... Oh, I was going to call them Black Eyes, but they have been removed off for the most part. And with a minute and 40 seconds, Travi, there's so much room to really kind of capture.
Yeah, it's not the best case scenario for the utility there. Both of the clutch drones getting destroyed quite aptly, but ultimately they've done their job and they will be, you know, at least to a passing standard here to allow all gamers to start to make their clearance through the map known here. This Twitch of Yars getting very aggressive, facing the keeper barricade, pops it right open, and the sound cube made. You can see Rockstar there opening up for it, but unfortunately the only opener is going the way of all gamers right now. Shuts down Darkslead, first one to fall. I'm sure while you're boxed here inside a projector, you'll be able to get yourself out of it nice and easily. So Moonlight does go down in the process, though, as Rockstar falls on back towards site. A second one to follow as well. 4 Angry Men here taking the lead.
Well, as soon as you say that, AG is going to trade it straight back. A kill potentially found out quite early. Solo Mid did have an idea of whether or not there was a player on the opposite side of that wall. Didn't have an angle to really put that pressure onto. Remember, the mirror is still up in play on that second floor, causing quite a few problems just outside of the good old command room. Damage back and forth in from museum. Clearances needed to be made, and it looks like they will be, but it's lighter to find one. Solo Mid's going to be taken down, and that's a tough position to really push that player off of. It's going to need to be a different potential assault. One smoke grenade remaining, but with every push, it's an LMG to meet it straight back. 4 AM managed to secure a 5-5.
Lida there with the LMG, the Alder more specifically. There's a reason I love that thing. He killed 3 people there, Tiaki, and didn't even need to reload. Didn't even need to touch that Arky on the keyboard. Didn't need to, none of it. Just hold left click, go and shoot them all down. Nice, simple, clean and easy. And I think for the first time in this series so far, all gamers are worrying about what comes next here. They're on the back foot, 5-5, and a stray from that two-round leads that they had a couple of minutes ago.
How to psych yourself out? Well, you let the opposition team equalize you once again. A 5-5. That means we've lost 10 rounds off the board so far, leaving for only 2 more rounds up and available to secure this out. Both of them have to be won by these teams. If it continues in the same state, well, you're just going to OT, and then it's back to even points going all the way through. For now, I was mentioning all gamers didn't look as confident in certain areas, but they were still the confident team showing up. The longer that this game goes, the worse it's been for them. 4 Angry Men have shown that they've got their 5th member, who's very, very angry at the moment. He's dropping 13 kills. 13 and 5 on the board. It's incredible.
That's a great stat line to be having right now. And the thing is, for me, it's not the typical MVP, the typical best performers of these teams stepping up to the table. We have praised Moonlight eternally for his performance so far inside of this league. MC as well, top gunner inside of this league heading in towards playoffs. But respectively here, they're having a fairly quiet game, all things considered there. And for all gamers, I think either one of them stepping up will be the difference maker here inside of this one. If one of them could just return to the form that we know they can provide, they should be good for it, I reckon. It's just a case of whether that happens here or we have to save something in the bank for a lair.
The Flores drone begins making its way up, but they need to realize that the actual site location is on the opposite side. Where does this pressure come down to? Do we continue putting pressure in towards Sisha side, or do we go for a complete and utter control of the courtyard area? Some sort of answer is going to need to come back, and Solo manages to dodge the Thorn charge, but barely. The shield will take most of the damage as he manages to make his way up and through, and that's a beautiful use of that shield. But look what has managed to get through the ban phase. The Clash has entered the lobby. Say hello, Travi, because I think it's going to be a really annoying operator.
It's the same thing for all gamers do time and time again, isn't it, Tiaki? Both these teams love to just bring operators after the ban phase and go, hey, look what we can play. Haha, you can't ban them anymore. Now die, is what they love to do inside of this one here. As we approach the halfway point of this round, ultimately, no one's really able to find massive success early on here. 4 Angry Men just quite happy to relegate the space, give it on through to all gamers, who are slowly but surely making their way across the top floor now.
Well, not just top floor. They've also got players positioned downstairs on that first, just making a little bit more of a clearance. That nade almost finding one. Instead, it's the player on the opposite side of the map. Yaz enters the game and is putting up double digits. Big plays from his end. However, that Clash still being a massive problem for the side of all gamers. They've used a bunch of their utility just trying to move him out of position. It's 2 nades up and available. And of course the Deimos as well. Currently tracking the Azami on the opposition team. A little bit of Grim charges. The Bees coming up and through as an attempt can be made to find some of this angle pushback from the players, but immediately the Clash just looking to hold down the entire hallway, and I think that will be the idea. But the rest of the position, and he's got, is that the wrong pistol?
That's the P10. It doesn't mean he's going to stop, though. He does find one, but 2 have been found by all gamers here. A 3rd to go, and it's now TX only left to try and deny. We'll confirm the pick back on towards MC, but with Diffuse going down, you know exactly where he's coming from. Yas mops it up, and there goes all gamers on towards map point on their opponent's map pick. Nonetheless, one opportunity to close it out here in regulation, Tiaki. For 4 Angry Men, though, it's overtime or bust.
Yeah, row. We're back into it once again, and immediately it just feels like all gamers, right? They knew what they were doing initially. They had the full slow control, the clearances being made, the opportunities being spotted out, and the second that they were able to find a potential direction in towards the site, they implemented a plan and executed. It was beautifully done. Found those angles quite quickly and quite easily, and you've got to give it to the Clash. I mean, it looked like the wrong weapon. It was a bit of a different one, that's for sure, than we're used to seeing, but it still made an effect and put a bit of an advantage onto the side of 4 AM. In the end, doesn't really matter. All gamers managed to beat it out, and they go into the match point round on the opposition's pick. AG.
I think it's intentional on the pistol. Oof. He's got it again. Like, first time, okay, you know what, it's silly, it happens. But I think he's actually meaning to bring the pistol, which is a rare choice. You know what, each to their own. Though it does make me flash back to, like, you know, remember when Legion got his super shorty removed? The amount of times I went to put it out, and I'm just like, what is this little thing? You got, like, the little, like, rubbish pistol he has now? Like the Q929 or whatever it is? It's just like, what is this? I do not want this. This is... Ugh. I mean, my super shorty. That's what I thought Lider was. But no, wants to bring the pistol. And you know what? Pistol's solid. It's got a red dot. It's good for one taps.
One taps, that's for sure. And we've definitely seen it in play plenty of times. But for now, Yaz sitting on the outside, ready and set to go. Solo mid. Also jumping straight back onto that Blackbeard. The amount of real harassment that we've seen coming in from solo mid on this Blackbeard has just been huge. Immediately finding angles, opening them up and putting just everything that they need. Trip mine's going to be taken off the board. Rockstar's not going to be too happy about that. As now, entrance will be made. It's open up into the second floor once again. Controller bedroom is the name of the game here. And Clash looks to get a bit aggressive once again. But where's the help?
She's on her own. She's on an island. Poor old Ida. But granted, he's 14-6 right now, so it's not a bad place to be. Just need to be careful, you say, Tiaki, to not overextend yourself and fall early on. There comes Rockstar. Shuts down Railgun, the first to fall. But they're one back the other direction there, courtesy of MC. Now to push on towards Clash is coming on through as she retreats to the team. Provide us some support.
Well, open up once again into the bathroom. That's the idea. Get control nice and early. It looks like there's potential angle all the way down. Pings coming up and through, but not enough to consider anything just yet. A bit of movement to be made. Clearance as well in towards the bathtub. But with the timer slowly ticking down, Travi, it's still a 4v4. And really, if you look at it, this is about as much ground as AG normally gets.
It's very par for the course round right now. I think the big thing is how do they deal with that clash. It was an issue in the last round for them. Granted, they were able to firepower their way around it. I don't know if you can rely on that same thing twice happening there. Karen Hives in sight will spot her out, as well as the Azami playing nearby to her. That's Darsley spotted, but the clock factor starts to step in here. Tiaki, 20 seconds left to go. Is it overtime or is it over?
Well, it all comes down to this Blackbeard plant. There will be an attempt made. Position spotted. 13 seconds. Darsley manages to find two. It's a back and forth with this clash, but I think we're going OT. It looks OT to me. As 4 AM managed to secure a 3-3. We talked about this game putting up some insane numbers. We talked about how this could be problematic for either of the two teams. But surprisingly, AG, once again, this is their map. This is not their map pick. They've managed to secure it into an OT state. 4 AM have managed to secure it into an OT state on their map pick. This could go either way, but from what I'm seeing now, this series is already banging.
This is going to be a heater of a series. I wanted nothing less from this one, Tiaki. I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw flame at my home region again. I was watching EML yesterday. This is a great anecdote. This is an amazing life story. Watching EML yesterday, it's like 7-1-7. It's boring. It's just 2-0, 7-0 games. It's rubbish. It's boring. I leave. I don't know if you looked in the chat, our little production chat earlier. I made some banana bread instead of watching EML. It was absolutely magnificent. Do highly recommend making some chocolate chip banana bread. Hit me up, get the recipe. But either way, point aside, this is heating up here, and this has to be heating up because it is a major qualification game. The winner of this game, not the match, but the whole match, will be going onwards to the Salt Lake City Major with an opportunity to be in that top seed position that gets the strongest player out of the CNL with the bypass into phase 2 directly. It's big stakes in this game here, and if it wasn't overtime, I'd be sad.
Well, it's good to see we are hitting up the mark for everything in between, including your DMs later for that recipe. But for now, it is a 6-6 scenario. 2 minutes, 30 seconds within this round. This is a defining round for both these two teams. Whoever manages to get the advantage will need to put pressure on the opposition team to make a play, to make a change, and try and see whether or not they can cause a bit of a mix-up. It looks like AG have decided they want to go on to, or correction, sorry, 4 AM have decided they want to be the ones on defense for the OT. So AG are going to start on the attacking side. It's going to need to be a bit of movement coming in from them. We've seen that they can secure 3 rounds quite comfortably. The only site that they really had trouble with at this stage was that bottom floor site, the tertiary site, where they couldn't lock that down at all. Surprisingly, not the picked site as the main option for 4 a.m. They're going to stay upstairs and hope and pray, really, that this upstairs works out. Clash obviously allowed straight back in and will get the chance to play. Look at how close this is going to be.
Pop the cat, pop the pipe, do it. If that Clash step's a little bit closer, no, you shoot her in the back instead. MC Railgun with one apiece here, kills going back and forth, but ultimately it's all gamers to come out on top of this one. All down to TX only. C4 over the bunks. There's no one to be found on towards that side. The fuser's going down. You have to scramble now, but you've been marked for death here by the Deimos. With 45-second clocks, it's just dinging closer and closer and closer to where you get sent away from this one. All gamers back up onto map point.
Exactly how we expect all gamers to play. Beautiful from them. Answers back immediately. Instead of playing slow, let's get the aggression up. Let's get this Clash knocked off the board as quickly as possible. Put some pressure from the Deimos on one side. Now Ace, jump in, find that kill, get that Clash off the board, and let's continue kicking it through. Now all gamers go into their half. They know what works. This should be where we start to see a little bit of nervousness coming out from 4 a.m. But for AG, they will be feeling so comfortable going into this side. And I wonder, Travi, will we see a max OT?
Oh, round 15. I'm going to be sad if this game doesn't go towards round 15. That, like, it will injure me. This one deserves it. It's such a good introduction here, a Fortress in towards the CNL, to see kind of who's playing, how it's going. It's been a really fun one. It's a nice change of Fortress from the other region. It's much faster, much more aggressive. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm really curious to see how it stacks against the international counterparts. Of course, only one of these teams today will be qualified to play against them. Final round, what could be here on the horizon. Round number 14. All gamers, can they close it out, Tiaki, or are we going the distance?
Well, considering how back and forth this game has been, there have been some ups, there have been some downs in both cases. We've seen all gamers get a few rounds up just to be brought back down to size, and then the same thing going back to the opposite side. So in both cases, look, I see it like this. 4 a.m., they should be able to equalize this. They have the same chances as all gamers have to win this. It's a 50-50 at this stage. One mistake could cost either team. I'll say that again. One mistake. So far, we've seen very few mistakes from both of the teams, but when they have happened, the rounds have completely shifted.
Hope for these teams that this is now the point of no return for them. You cannot be afford to make yourself mistakes there. Zofia of Lider getting aggressive here, and I think this is a good shout. Get Lider off that shield, get him off the support of the Clash, get him onto a more aggressive fragged out role, and that's exactly where he needs to be right now. 2 KD across this map, looking to improve it here a little bit further, get a bit of damage on towards solo mid, prompting the retreat on away, and you like we're used to seeing up for this top floor, Tiaki. While damage is done and shots are fired, no one's hitting the deck just yet.
Still movement outside of the museum side, putting a little bit of pressure on the players sitting in those off positions. Drones beginning to come through, providing a little bit of information in towards Commander's office from the tower hallway. Looks like there's going to be a slow approach coming in from TX only, still playing on this Deimos. But again, look at the position setup from AG. They're extended over such a large area that 4 a.m. really doesn't have too many movement points. They've got to move in towards the site almost directly. The only really powerful operator that they're going to have in this situation is that Deimos to push them off of any of their angles. And as the timer begins to go through, 40 seconds remaining, Travi.
40 seconds to push on in now. Here comes 4 Angry Men. Pop the second Zofirium. Pack takedown to keep a barricade right there. None to be replaced. Charging in towards the objective. It's their in-game though. Kills going back and forth, but MC with a massive double keeps all gamers in the head. Is this where they're able to get themselves over the line finally? 3 men left standing for 4 Angry Men. Able to get one. Shut down MC. 3v3 equalizer at the 15-second mark.
No utility up and remaining. It's just the Capital with smokes. Wide swing comes through. It's TX only that manages to find Railgun. Decides to get aggressive with the shotgun, but I don't think he's got the time to be doing this. That's Diffuser taken down. And all gamers managed to secure their first map. And it is not their map pick. 4 AM will start at a disadvantage, but how close that was.
That was a close game, almost going all the way to 15, but for all gamers, it was able to get done there inside of 14. What a phenomenal first map of the series, Tiaki. This major qualification game is living up to the hype, living up to the expectations, and guess what? That's only map 1 of it, right? We've got plenty more to come right after this break.
Welcome back to the CNL. We're back again, me and Travi.
We are back. And what a map 1 it was. It was a map 1.5, wasn't it, Tiaki? Tell me about it.
Ooh. I mean, where do you start? Where do we start at this conundrum? I mean, AL, it was AG. My apologies. It was not their map pick, and they managed to beat all 4 Angry Men. I almost call them all gamers. I'm getting confused with myself. They managed to beat the opposition team and on their map pick and secured it. How?
They did. Great play is probably the simple answer to that one. I think Tiaki, just really good play between the players. Let's see what goes on through here. The players just getting ready. Of course, this one is for the big guns, Tiaki. All gamers find themselves on a ground that no CNL team has stood on before today. They find themselves 7 rounds away from qualifying to the first major of the season, Salt Lake City. If they win this map, their own map pick, may I add, they're going to the major.
I mean, it has been incredible so far. We've watched them play in their first matches up against Wolves Esports. They managed to secure it out, knocking Wolves down into the lower bracket, forcing them to go up against One Coin on the opposite side, which was 4 Angry Men, who managed to beat them 0-2, pushing all the way through into this upper bracket semi-finals. And so far, all gamers managed to secure the map 1 on Fortress of all maps, a first entry that we've seen onto the CNL, continuing their push through, making their way potentially to the Salt Lake City Major. But yeah, I mean, I'm still at a loss for words. It was exceptional gunplay coming in from all gamers that managed to secure them out the win. Strategies be damned. Everything was set for them to push straight through, and they still had a lot of trouble doing it. 4 Angry Men showed why they called 4 Angry Men. They came in and were able to keep up with the opposition teams on a competitive point. They want this win as much as all gamers do. And coming down to it as we get into map number 2 over on Leia, it's going to get so interesting, Travi. I cannot wait. An 83% chance for all gamers to win this, 17% for 4 AM. Oh man, it's going to be good.
The stats are cold. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind, Tiaki, that both of these teams have the quality to make the Salt Lake City Major. Whoever loses today, we'll see them make that lower bracket run. I reckon we'll see both these teams at the Major. But who makes it today? Who goes in with the upper bracket? Who gets that chance to qualify straight to phase 2? Or only the winner of the game will be the one with those opportunities presented themselves. Going into Lair, all gamers map pick now. Glaz, Bandit, first ones to remove. Ying and Arcade following suit. Exactly what we've grown to expect from this series for these teams. Pretty much identical to what we saw back on Fortress. And as we load into the map now, things are about to begin.
And here we go. 2 seconds taking off the board. We're going into map number 2. We're going over to the beautiful map of Lair. Starting on the defensive side is going to be 4 AM. They will start themselves off with a little bit of enclosure up onto this second floor. 4 AM banning off, of course, the Kaid. The Ying and the Glaz. So much utility being removed straight off the bat, and the usefulness of Glaz. He's been seen so often from the side of AG, used in incredible ways as far as we've seen. So getting him off the board nice and early makes a lot of sense. On the opposite side for AG, removing off a lot of that utility on the walls requires you to pick a different operator for the setup, and it doesn't look like we're going to get much, if any, Wuldanar. It will come down to operators that bring in traps, such as your Tachanka and, of course, your Smoke as well. The potential to stop that plant from going down nice and early, but as the players begin to move into the map, Travi, this is where things are going to get interesting.
This is going to be the real highlight of today. We almost got all 15 rounds on the previous map, and I can only hope Lair somewhat lives up to it here. All gamers continuing their aggressive attacking sided lineups here. Dokkaebi, Deimos, Solid Snake, all these operators designed for clearing this roam. Not only that, feeding the information through, doing it quickly as well. 4 Angry Men on the flip side of it, they have exactly what they need to counter that kind of a play style. They've got the Smoke, the Shanker, the Fawn as well. All of these operators for traps, for denial, to ensure that this space cannot be taken as quickly as all gamers would like to do so, waste a lot of their utility. It's a really interesting kind of interaction between the two play styles of these teams. Both wanting to go fast, both wanting to go aggressive, but only one's going to be given the opportunity to be able to succeed at doing so.
Well, moving straight into the battle lines. The ground's drawn. Rockstar going to take a decent chunk of damage, enough to be taken off the board nice and early, thanks to the help of Solo Mid. Moonlight trying to make a bit of a move, but it's Grotty who enters the match and says, absolutely not. You're not going any further. As the Dokkaebi will be taken off the board. Logic bombs, one did go off, but not a second up and available. So now it comes down to the Deimos on that first floor to put a bit of that vertical pressure. Solo Mid jumping in. I'm not sure if he meant to do that. Jumps straight back outside once again. And that Grim just putting a bit of pressure from upstairs. Or, correction, from the first floor, as they will begin to get the wall opened up. Railgun manages to get out of that position, but for 4 AM, they know that this approach is coming. It's just how do you respond to it?
Good setup so far inside of this round here. MC, though, taking a lot of damage from that Razor Bloom shell. Does have to be careful of any more, as suspended exposure to those will result in death for you. So just need to play it slower, play a little bit more careful here, but you can't afford to do that for too much longer inside of this round, Tiaki. 35 seconds left to go on the clock. Soliton Scanners can be activated. 3 of the 4 remaining defenders have been identified. All gamers know exactly what to expect on them. It's just now can that plan formulate into a solid execution here in the final 20.
TX only. He was the MVP going into these maps, but hasn't been putting up the numbers that a lot of players have been expecting from him so far. On the opposite end, Lighter has been the man to keep your eye on, but there's TX only. Answers straight back, just sending bullets all the way down those long angles. Diffuser is going to be placed underneath, and the timer, the 6th defender, as you call it, on a consistent basis, Travi, is going to be the winner of the round. And as a result, all gamers, they lose the first, and it will mean that 4 AM has the opportunity to go down onto that secondary site or the tertiary site as their second pick. And will that be the direct decision? It looks like that's the idea. As the coach, we get a little bit of a preview seems a little bit annoyed, but not enough to be of concern. So going downstairs is where we next kick off.
It's one round. You don't want to be getting too over your head right now. It's one round. It's the primary bomb site. You're expected to lose it. Could All Gamers' time management have been better in that previous round? Certainly, but alarm bells I don't think will be ringing too much yet. 4 angry men down in towards the basement now. Gonna be heading out this lineup spear, headed with this mirror setup. Great operator. We're seeing a lot of her utilised when she does survive these ban phases, which is actually quite often in CNL compared to some other regions. She's really great here for holding the long sight lines. Thinking out towards Rocket. I'm looking down towards the boiler stairs at the back of the map. There's a lot of ways here. You can even bring her upstairs and play her on a first floor extension. There's ways you can change up this one here, how you want to do this. As for the side of All Gamers, though, they've backed away from the roam clear and more going to be focused on this time about getting that vertical operator cleared on out. And speaking of operators cleared on out, TX only going for a spawn peak and immediately paying the price for it.
Where, when, how, who, what? Massacre. It is just straight a massacre. A quick spawn peak coming into play, and AG immediately capitalized. TX only deciding to get a little bit more on the aggression than we've seen from him in previous situations. Shots going back and forth from both of the teams at this stage as everything will slow down. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining on the board, allowing for a lot more movement from AG, and that gives them a bit of time to get that first floor control. Of course, there is so many angles that can be opened up with the use of the buck. The soft breaching, such a prevalent part of any game. And that's exactly what you want to see from them. Cutoffs immediately being opened up onto that first floor. And it comes down, again, to this territorial game. So much has been given over to AG so far. 4AM don't really have a direct answer straight back to it just yet. They're keeping certain members from AG at bay, but there's so much utility being used to keep them on the pushback.
And now you've got this shield as well to really continue to cement this pushback here for the defenders. Are you aware? There's one so close to you for All Gamers right now, because the backside of site is relatively vacant, it's relatively clear, it's all looking towards this warehouse side execution. But unfortunately for All Gamers, they just can't seem to break the stalemate. Smoke grenade's going to pop on there. Flashbangs follow suit from solo mid, and eventually 4AM. They will fall on back without trying to take any more gunfights, without playing any more risk. But when they fall back, they're immediately going in towards the sight lines opened up above by Moonlight, and that could be the problem for them. Yaz able to collect a kill inside of the chaos there. Got you with one back, trades it out, but still the attack holding this advantage.
Yeah, beautiful plays coming in from Yaz, immediately answering straight back with 2 kills onto the board. A bit more movement needing to be made as Moonlight, he'll get taken off the board. That's your vertical player immediately pushed off of that position, allowing for a bit more movement to come into the fold. Smoke grenades will slow down the potential opportunity here. One more remaining just to completely push the players off of their positions. A little bit of damage being dealt to Railgun as he makes the move up, but it's all back and forth. Yaz with a quadra kill in the round. Welcome to the game, my friend. It's good to see you. And immediately, in a matter of about 5 seconds, All Gamers managed to secure the next round straight back to them. That secondary objective not looking too hot.
No, not at all in that basement there. I liked the idea from 4 Angry Men, especially at a point in time where that round looked very one-dimensional from the offense. You let them charge on through warehouse, and you just seek to stall them out there, play that kind of frontline war of attrition, but that wasn't what transpired there. You had that verticality, you had that extra element and dimension to the attack coming in from All Gamers, and they're able to really just change around how they play inside this one. Head towards the tertiary now, where the vertical is going to be of paramount importance here, Tiaki, right? You've got this top floor control where the site extension will always play towards it. The defenders will look to hold on to it, because from up here, you can deny a plant effectively anywhere inside of the site. So it adds this extra element that the attack have to clear out, and time management for All Gamers, it has been a problem, so I need to see them righting it here inside of this one.
Excuse me, such a complex and complicated push to come on to the play. And as a result, it will need to be this full extension that immediately gets some attention upstairs. But we have seen AG in the first match. They identified a position where they could potentially push a player, get him on the aggressive angle, and find a way in towards the site. In saying that, though, with the players in their positions upstairs, you've got 3 shotguns, make it 4 shotguns on the opposition team. You can't really go for this top floor. Can't really go for a direct take. If you try to, you're immediately going to be identified on that bottom floor section, and there's going to be shots raining from above. Death from above is a good quote that I think of when I look at that, and at this stage, that is going to be the idea. Immediately making a push in towards this top floor side. Identification has been made. A little bit of a spectator bug there with the Nomad charges, but trust, they are going direct. It looks like they've given a bit of consideration to potentially going for a direct approach as the rest of the members of AG make their way inside the map.
This is one of my least favourite attacks. I'm going to be honest with you, Tiaki, the way this one's setting up, because what you'll often see is you'll see teams, as we're seeing Yaz do right now, they open up the walls, open up the sidelines, they throw the Sensi ROU projectors in to both obscure the visual and mean so the Solace can't as easily identify where that kit is going down, then send the Montaigne in under the cover of the smoke, the light projectors to try and get the plant on the ground. Big issue with it is we've seen it 1,000 times before. The first 2 times it was done, it was great, it was new, it was innovative, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I've seen it before, and I'm assuming 4 angry men will have as well. They see the Montaigne, as soon as they see that sense, they're going to know what's coming, and they're going to make the right rotations, because look at it, they're not pressured on that top floor right now. Clean sightlines down below.
Vertical play is what it comes down to, but the second kill, first kill within the round is going to be made. Solo mid picks up one in towards the site. That leaves most of the members from 4 a.m. stuck on this upstairs take. Not to say that that at all is a disadvantage. Darsley is going to take a lot of damage as well. Shotguns coming in on the shield, but that is a plant opportunity. There is really no cover up and available. This plant will go through. The player is going to go down. I take it back. Plant not completed. And that is a big loss for AG. They're going to be on the back foot from that one. No potential opportunity to plant anywhere else. They needed to get that smoke taken off the board, but he's got no more utility to push that player off. The only thing up and available is those impact nades. A correct one from Railgun could stop the potential play being made, but it's going to be an attempted plant coming straight through. Shotgun in hand, makes the clearance of one. Moonlight is going to be found on the second. Diffuser will go down, but it's Moonlight against the world, and he manages to find 2. Diffuser is going to be stopped. Almost shots coming through, but it's an up and down battle. Both sections needing to be watched. Gotti thinks he knows exactly where the player is. Diffuser is going to be attempted again. It's just a back and forth movement, but with a shotgun in hand up against the DMR, all it takes is 1 bullet, but now they're both on 1 HP. It's all going to come down to this. It's a last second shot. AG managed to win it, but my God, that was close.
Hold your nerve, boys. Hold your nerve. What a round there. Absolute chaos, absolute calamity, but there for all gamers, able to walk away with the second one inside of the half there. Beautiful play, chaos inside of that one. A default plan not going through, instead being able to adapt. That is the quality we need to see in these teams, and that's a great asset that they've been able to show us. Operator bans are going to come on through. To no one's surprise, the Montaigne's gone, and Netochanka as well, which, considering how much he's been played lately, I honestly see the point. I get it.
Move the Tashanka off nice and early. No problems, no issues, no worries. You make it nice and quick, and just quick look back at the round as we continue through. What a shot coming in from Solo Mid to start it off. Look at this plant. It is literally there. It was almost down. Less than a millisecond. Less than a millisecond. And this is beautiful from everyone's side. If Moonlight doesn't get that kill, if he takes 1 more set of damage, that's the round done. Beautiful plays from both sides. In saying that, now we get the reset. You got that primary site up and open once again. Straight turning towards that top floor control. AG have the 2 rounds up. well, 1 round, I should say, 1 round differential, but 2 rounds locked onto the board now. 1 more round, you're feeling good. 2 rounds, you're feeling confident. We know that they can take control of the secondary site. We know that they can take control of the tertiary site. And for the side of AG, if they're able to secure this site, it spells a very, very bad half for the side of 4AM. But then again, we've seen them equalize it. So what we expect from both of these two teams is to put up big numbers.
We can just expect both these teams to be competitive. I think that's the fairest way to characterize this matchup with how it's been so far. We expect a close game. I will expect another overtime from this one, unless some team could magic something out in the second half. But at least for this first one, it's just going to be this back and forth bloody battle between the two sides here. Starting off over on the Skybridge side here is going to be Railgun on the Blackbeard. Pops the smoke canister there. Looking to just push across here, supported out by the drone of Moonlight. Slow and steady approach here from all gamers, much more all-encompassing than I think we saw from them in the previous round. Last time, it weighed way too heavily on the entry coming in from the bathroom, so we're changing things up this time, making those points that are a little bit further in the map, giving you more opportunity to play from them, and that's exactly where we're going to want to go.
A little bit of movement, a little bit of a push forward coming into the stand at this stage. As the clearance being made slow but surely. It's information being gathered on the roll. Shots not going off just yet, but it is territory being claimed left, right, and center from the opposite side. Keep an eye on that Buck. He's got position down on that first floor, putting so much vertical pressure on the play, and that means the players are going to have to move out of their respective position as the drones begin to come through. Darsley is able to pick up the first. He'll open up the round exactly as necessary. Moonlight is going to be dropped down, and now it's time for us to keep it going. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical issues. Don't worry about that. The game still continues because Shotguns managed to find one.
We're knowers, Tiaki. We know our best way in towards this one here. 4v4 as things stand, 50 seconds left to go on towards the clock. Not the worst player to lose there for all gamers, certainly, but you've got to be careful because there is still one down below from 4 Angry Men. That's going to be Gotti there on the Malusi, on the hunt, on the prowl, and without someone like a Deimos to track him down, you're going to have to spend quite a bit of time dealing with him, and with only 35 seconds left on the clock here, this could be a battle that could single-handedly turn the tide of the round here if you were to lose this as MC.
The biggest idea is keeping up with the information. Where are players making their moves? 25 seconds remaining on the board. That's the pressure downstairs removed. Buck taken off nice and early. Nade will go through long ways, but it's Rockstar who finds the counter pick. It's going to be down to the Blackbeard from the side of AG, and he's got a lot to search for, but clearances be damned. Clearances be made. 2-2. A good answer back from 4AM. Lockdown of the tertiary, lockdown of the secondary site. That is the name of the next 2 rounds. One of them needs to be locked down to get that 3-on-3 half. And Travi, this is incredibly close.
This is a neck and neck game here on left. Did you expect anything less? Like, did we expect anything less between these two sides here? I think 4 Angry Men locking in and realising this is the game that could send us further. This is the one that could take us to labs, or it could be the one that sends us to the lower bracket. All gamers as well putting in their part of the shift, realising this is their qualification map, theoretically. It's big names, big numbers for them. Down to the basement, we're going to head here for round number 5, penultimate one of the half, but not before the replays from the previous round there. You can just see the aggression. You can just see how important these ones are. You get a 1 and then you immediately see this sudden retaking of space, this sudden charge forward. That is what I'm loving from these teams. As soon as they get an opportunity to push on, take some ground from themselves or back from the enemy, they're taking it fully and riding it all the way to victory.
Well, for AG now, their securance will be that first floor. Once again, we're seeing the extension being built from that bottom side directly up. A few rotations coming into the fold. Of course, the mirror not being picked up. Oh, take it back, sorry. Mirror is picked up on the opposite end and will be put to great use. It's the same concept as you said in the past. Look, you give us operators, we give you operators. You take our mirror, that's fine. We're just not going to play it for the first 3 rounds. And the second that we get the chance to start using it for the endpoints, we will use it every single round as much as necessary. Miro, of course, being one of those operators, really annoying to deal with unless you've got that breach from upstairs, that soft wall breach, vertical play, or you've got a Twitch. And it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing a Twitch coming out from AG anytime soon. Of course, a little bit more presence from the side of 4 a.m. in the last one. In saying that, though, they're not on the attacking side. It's AG's turn. Minute and 50 seconds remaining on the board. And keep your eye on that floor, as the amount of utility he can remove is extreme.
With the logic bomb deployed there, the attack looking to try and gain some ground in towards this armory side here will force the Azami back, using her keeper barricades to just slip on away there without forfeiting her life. She doesn't want to die up here. She doesn't want to put her team in a man disadvantage. Instead, more than happy to just let all gamers take the control, and with it, we'll see them getting free reign over this first floor side of the map now. But immediately you can see the next foothold has been established down here on the bottom of Boiler Staircase. You're ready to try and contest here. All gamers, while they've got over the first hurdle, there's still plenty more they're going to need to work through.
Shots going back and forth. The Blackbeard taking a lot of damage. Is going to need to have some cover from his teammates. Gotti is completely flashbanged, but flashbangs be damned as the shots ring out. He manages to get more damage onto the ace as well. He'll get dropped down as a result of Yaz on the opposite side of the map, confirming that kill straight up and through. Almost spots the second. Won't be able to confirm it just yet, as keep your eye on that mirror, waiting for that potential jump in. But this has stopped all of AG's momentum. They've got no way to push into the site at this point. It's going to be down to Moonlight to potentially find a kill from upstairs. The ace charge will begin to come through. That's going to push the mirror off of its position, but there's still so much clearance needing to be made. This mirror could just sit and wait for a potential jump over. The player's going to be spotted. It's a beautiful shot. They've figured out a way to get in. Now momentum needs to be moved into the site. They have a direction of push, but it's immediately identified and shut down. Solo mid decides to get a little bit aggressive. It's a bit of damage going back and forth. Run over to be made. It will successfully be put down with the timer ticking off. Shotgun in hand. Not enough found. 4 a.m. secure their third round.
Darsley, my goodness me, that man is worth his weight in gold inside of that round. Just when you think the cover's there, just when you think they've gotten away with the heist of a lifetime, all hope is taken from them immediately back the other direction. Beautiful stuff. 4 angry men now in the lead here on Lair, and can look to try and come at this half of a favourable close-in on towards the mid-floor site, one that they were successful in last time, TRK. This half, it's going down to the very bit of wire.
17%. That's what was given to 4 a.m. on winning this game. 17%. I'm feeling it's a lot closer to 50-50 at this stage. Both teams are acting off of each other's calls, off of each other's plays in unison. Everything that they do is immediately capitalized upon if a mistake is made, if a question has been put out. There are answers on every end. And let's just look how close this is. Oh, that is just way too close on the section. Decides to rush through and manages to get that reload off in the nick of time.
It's rough. I mean, you think he reloads what, half a second later, not even that, and then when the buck swings the corner, he's caught with a magazine in his hand there. Like, that is perfect timing there from Darsley. And now as we head in towards it, it's the omen's now on all gamers to really try and bring this map back into their side. And to do so, they're going to be going onto the Blitz, TRK. The shields are something they've used a lot. Rightfully so, the Montaigne's been banned off of them. Can they make impact with the German operator?
The Blitz, it feeds aggression. It oozes aggression. Everything that you hear about Blitz is, okay, let's get a little bit of the territory under control. Let's get a little bit locked down and then just send it. Absolutely run into the opposition team. Say, come at me. I want to flashbang you as much as possible. Counteraction already in play from their side is going to be, of course, the Warden. Brought up and around. He will cut off a lot of what the Blitz is capable for doing. But on the opposite end for AG, they need to make this work. They need to find some way to get it through.
And some way will be where they go searching for it. How do they pop this one? Halfway through the round almost now, and yet again, it's a slow and early start right now for the side of All Gamers here. Just slowly trickling across this map, making their presence known, but stalled up by the Toxic Babes here. Pushing side to the Vault on the Blitz here. Two defenders trying to get caught up on the fight, and Solo mid will tuck his tail straight on out of there. Does not want to contest it, doesn't even want to think about giving that one yet another go. Use the second Toxic Babe to cut off the elevator here, Tiaki, but I've got to worry. This is too much resource too early on in the round.
Well, 60 seconds remaining on the board. Shots begin to go through, and once again, it's Yaz. He put up double digits in the last game, but now it's Lydana. I'm saying every name wrong. It doesn't really matter. There's too many shots going on left and right. Yaz versus 2. I say that again. It's Rockstar now versus 2 members, and the shield operator is still alive. Travi, bit of movement coming in from Solo mid. We'll need to find the first impactful matter. There's no more impact grenades up and remaining for Rockstar. He knows that there is still a player potentially up above. Needs to look for that potential kill in the fold, but it's going to be the cover on to the Blitz, who can immediately make a move in. It's going to be a beautiful shot coming right up and through. It's Yaz against the world, manages to find the kill, and it's a beautiful shot.
Out there, come on through, or not tactical, about halfway break. I don't even know what's going on anymore. We're completely lost inside of this one. However, Tiaki's thinking about going to bed inside of the halfway break there. He wants to go sleepy bye-byes. I, on the other hand, want to stay here for what is continuing and shaping up to be another solid map here in our major qualification game. Operator bands coming on through, and interestingly enough, we're not beating around the bush this time, Tiaki. We're getting the clash, and we're taking us straight off the board. Don't even have to get towards that quarter-way mark.
I love our production. I just love our production team. Absolutely. That's not at all what I was referring to. But anyway, regardless. Look, who wants to sleep with this match? I mean, a 3-3 hit off. I could go for all 3 maps. I want to see all 3 maps, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. Both these teams are playing so exceptionally well. We've had an 8-6 within the first match. Going into this one has come to a 3-3. It was AG locked onto this map. They started off 2 rounds. Oh, sorry. First round, they struggled. That was 4 AM's round lockdown. Then just 2 rounds in succession, looking comfortable, looking like they're getting used to the map and putting their confidence in the way that they were playing. All of a sudden, 4 AM's just got, no. We're not doing that. Not today, not like this. And they've answered right back. 2 rounds onto the board. 2 rounds that were so exceptionally close on both ends. AG now need to answer back on the defensive side. We need to start seeing them put up some of that confidence that we saw within the first, the first 2 rounds, really. The first 3 rounds as a general whole. The confidence that we saw from them. And it looks like with the lineup that they've picked, there's definitely a few operators there that you can kind of go, okay, I can see how that's going to work out.
Moonlight, here's the Blackbeard, doesn't want to commit to C4 just yet, and it would rightfully so. It'd be a waste. Don't throw it, just wait a couple seconds here. 4 AM, they're not quite that eager. They're not directly out through that operational double door yet. Instead, they're going to go on the drone line to spot him out and then force him to fall on back away. As for the start of this one, though, it's just a slow, steady from the attacking side. Yet again, you've got a workout coming through from underneath. No one holding down there, so should be nice and easy for 4 angry men to clear their way on through. As for All Gamers, Emoji just relegated towards the site here and holding these rocket stairs.
Well, drone will identify one player inside of the hallway down from the B bomb site. Nade goes out. I shouldn't say nade, my apologies. That is a nitro cell. By the way, look at how much the nitro cells, well, how many nitro cells they really have. It is more than one. It is more than two. It is 4 of them up and available for their respective use. Nade will come out, deal a little bit of damage down, trying its best to clear off the utility on this wall so Darcy can try and open it up, giving them opportunities to get in towards the site, but none of the nades are successful in doing so. It's all down to TX only, who's still on that first floor, trying to wait for players to move out of their position so that he can begin pinging them from down below. As I say that, he's removed off the board. Railgun's able to find TX only. Second kill within the round for him. The pressure.
It's taking him a little while. They want to rotate this Capital round to deal with this Tuberal there, but just can't able to get the angle. He's going to stay there. Railgun's not moved in the slightest. His Blackbeard can't push on through because if he decides to charge in towards the objective, he's going to fall into a little bit of a pinch there. Moonlight there, Railgun behind. It's all down to Lider on his lonesome as the team crumbles around him. Gets one back the other direction, sure, but it's a 1v4. 15 seconds left to go on the clock here. And sure, while you've got this mezzanine control, that's great and all. If you can't get in towards the objective, if you're charging into sight in a 1v4, it's only going to go one way for you. Second exit frag to be found, and ultimately there, all gamers start off their defense with what I would argue, Tiaki, is a very good round.
Very, very comfortable from them coming into the play. Everything that they do manipulated the opposition team into choke points, into areas that they could have easily cut off, found kills, and just put them on the back burner in every single situation. Now it's time for 4 a.m. to start answering straight back up. We've seen what they can do when they are knocked down slightly. We've seen how far they are willing to go. But AG, the confidence that they've had within these first few rounds needs to maintain for the long run. They've had a few troubles in regards to how they've kind of been approaching it. And this also starts to beg a few questions. Yes, they managed to get through the first win on the first map, but that just means a few different things. So far, they were the team that's undefeated. They were the team that hasn't had any problems with any other team so far throughout this competition. And now, as the games go on, and as we start to see tomorrow, the other teams coming out from their quarterfinals and their upper bracket semis, starts to beg the question, if they manage to win this, if they manage to go to the upper bracket final, their opponents most likely are going to be Edward Gaming. Most likely. What does this game say about them going up against that team?
A lot to think about. There's a lot on the line going up ahead for future weeks, but that's next week. We got a while for that. We got to qualify 2 teams, one today in this match, one tomorrow in our second upper bracket semi as well. So there's plenty of action to go on through this blitz as well. He's hoping to find some action, bless him, but he's on the top floor on his lonesome there. No one from All Gamers looking to really contest. So a quick sweep on through. You can now divert attention towards the first. Start to make your way through. You see the first player, shots are going to go back, but Shield kindly blocks them through, none to connect. 4 angry men now circling around, trying to work out how to deal with these players here, holding on towards this first floor. Luckily though, where they stand in Armory, a hatch drop is available to them so they don't get their feet stuck in the mud.
Well, it's a slow control being gathered up. A beautiful coming in from Gotti upstairs. Manages to open up the flooring at the same time, peeking straight down and through, catching Yaz off guard. The top fragger so far for All Gamers on the opposite end. 4 a.m. immediately capitalized. They gained so much control upstairs, pushing onto Moonlight's position, dealing the damage necessary. Somehow, Moonlight has managed to turn that round, finds 2 beautiful picks, and Rockstar is also going to take a decent chunk of damage, but he manages to pull down a solo mid. Keep an eye, there's still an echo in the game.
That's the clock factor as well. But the two players on the extension are low HP there, and one gets shot in the hand to be finished off as the other gets found by the shield. Now it's a 1v3 situation here, leaving Railgun down on the objective. 50 seconds left to go, and sure, like you say, Tiaki, those Yokais, they are present, they are available. There's a second logic bomb in pocket, which buys you enough time to try and get that defuse on down before you can get back onto the drones and hack them. But you're not even going to get to that point there. A closeout, nice clean round from 4 angry men, as they're not letting this one slip out from underneath them. 4-4.
How many coins do you want to flip in this game? We have 12 different coin flips that we can get up to before we go into the OT. And so far, it feels like that is exactly what we're seeing every single round so far, Travi. Flip a coin, you get 4 a.m. Flip another coin, maybe you get another 4 a.m. Then flip the coin again. Oh, look, it's AG. And then again, AG. It is such a back and forth series that we've seen so far. Every single question has an answer. And this is just beautiful play coming straight off the back of AG, immediately finding one. And this was just huge. Moonlight being able to find those 2 avenues for kills just brings it up. Absolutely, these two teams are fighting it tooth and nail to make their way into the major qualification.
Tertiary bomb site up ahead now here for all gamers, bringing out the clash, bringing out this operator that they love to play around. We've seen it time and time again. You get to this point in the half and they're just like, okay, clash time, it's fun time, all bets are off. Backed up with a lot of traps as well. It's going to make it a really hard lineup here for 4 angry men to try and crack themselves on through. But what interests me, Tiaki, is they're bringing out the clash before the ban. So technically, if she's really effective in this round, 4 angry men could go, no thank you, and ban her in the next. Which is odd for them.
That is very true. Bringing out a quite an oppressive operator in most cases makes a lot of sense. It causes so many problems for the opposition team to get those rounds under control. But then again, for AG, I mean, it's just about locking down what they can find so far in this case. And of course, I mean, it's control. It's control basis. So far, we've seen full control upstairs, lockdown easy. Get that first floor. You find the control, you can easily win the round. Now it starts to make a few questions on the opposite side. Where can we get this control from? Where's our phantom pressure being placed on the map? What utility can we remove nice and early? Most of the Thorn traps are going to be taken off. A decent chunk of damage being dealt onto the Blackbeard. But look at how much room they've really gotten so far. That diffuser and that bomb site really hasn't gotten anything opened up. And there's less than 90 seconds left.
That's it. There's not a lot of time right now here for the side of 4 angry men to be working with, especially when they've got this extension to clear on through here. Solo mid, aggressive angle on towards the shotgun here, with a couple waiting on the side of the other door. It's all for them to play right now. 60 seconds left on the clock here. For Logic Bomb's going to come on through. C4 goes out from solo mid, will not connect its mark. Luckily, Railgun can find his, able to take down Lides there. Warden getting aggressive, completely blinded, but it doesn't matter because the team around him is picking up kills where they need to do so. All down to Rockstar now in the 1v3 situation here to save for full gamers, going up onto that 5th round part yet again for themselves. 35 seconds to bring this back.
Flip a coin, Ravi. Flip a coin.
If the coin lands on its side, then
if the coin lands on its side, then we go to OT. But as far as we've been confirmed, it looks like AG are in perfect unison within this round. But great answers back to every single play that was made by 4 angry men. Practically, this should be one-sided. Overall, this should be AG's. They should have this on the lockdown. They were the better team going through all of their games. This just shows the difference and the resilience from a team once it starts getting rough and tough in a lot of these situations. There's so many strategies that teams don't show early that they bring in when it gets to a really tough situation for them to continue pushing on through. And if you get overwhelmed, if the mental checks out early, that's it. You're done. You may game's over. Too problematic, too demanding as a result. And going into this, 4 angry men have made every single opportunity count.
Top floor, we will head towards yet again for this one here. All gamers in this round, they're going to just stick towards what they know here. No need to reinvent the wheel. It's been working for you so well quite far. Bringing out that Warden, you know 4 angry men like to play the flashbang, like to kind of push behind that utility quite a lot. So he's a really good operator to bring here, but he only supports himself. That is where this Jaeger's going to start to come into this round, Tiaki. He's going to provide that extra bit of protection for the rest of the team from this thrown utility, especially a bit further forwards in these more risky positions, so that way when they're playing these front lines they can hold it down for longer. And then when you get to the site, you get to the execute, you've got solo mid on the Warden who doesn't really care and can start peeking through smokes with that shotgun SMG-12 combo.
It's absolutely down to that. It all comes down to essentially the plays that you can make with the operator lineups that you bring. Interesting concept here, an interesting operator being brought in, so a different style, a different strategy being brought onto the fold. Aurora has made their appearance within the map. And of course, what does that mean? Well, it's a lot of different angles that could be locked out quite quickly, giving you that ability to get that bomb plant down and making it a lot more difficult for the opposition team to really change the way that an impactful play can be made. In saying that, moving into this round number 10, there's a bunch of sites that have been locked out from at this stage. Primary site, not one of them. That is still up and available for AG, and they have capitalized by picking that up almost effective immediately. Potential jump in TX only, but his first point of contact is going to be that mute. Macy watching nice and slow. Nitro Cell plan to be used by Solo Mid. Doesn't look like that will be the case. Instead, we're getting a basic lineup once again. Same lineup we've been seeing from both teams in this case. Your Jaeger, your Tachanka, your Warden, your Mute, your Ella. It's the same lineup on the defensive side. In most cases, as I say that about the jump in, instead, it's a jump out.
That's not most cases, Tiaki. That's a rare one there to see the Mute outside the building there with the shotgun, able to find the Lion as well. So all of that holdout utility that you can find will be taken off the board there. Nice and easy. Advantage secured. All gamers now, they can just look to try and hold the line for them, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Moonlight able to take down Lider there, gets the advantage further back in towards their favor, but Goddy's got something to say about it. We'll be able to shut down Solo Mid. MC to go down as well. 3v3 situation now at the 55-second mark here. And while all gamers had a comfortable hold in the mid-round in towards the late one, it's still that coin flip situation. It's anyone's game. You're charging towards the player here, on towards the back line, going through, trying to find him, but the cross is being held. You get him shut down eventually, but unfortunately it leaves just Rockstar on his lonesome to bring it up and cannot do so. It's all gamers on match series major point.
What happened? Where did this aggression come from? Where did this playstyle come from that we just saw with all gamers? Everything was beautiful in their answers back, and I think a little bit of a misplay coming in there from the side of 4AM. Nade sent through to try and push a player off the position. Grotty decides to get a little bit aggressive, sees the nade, tries to run away, instead runs into it, and I think ended up getting knocked within that round. But for the most part, everything that was done by AG was perfect. The answers back, the positions, the way that they approached the round. They now have that 2-round differential that allows them a bit of breathing room to get that series point, to get that match point, to get that major point. This is what it comes down to for 4 angry men, and I'm sure they will not play around with it. Timeout called in, giving them a bit of extra momentum onto their back, flipping the momentum onto their side, and now things start to really get interesting.
That they do, Tiaki. That they do. The tactical timeout from Eden. We know his impact this man can have as a coach, what he can inspire inside of some of these players. And if you're a fan of 4 Angry Men, you can only hope he's able to do the same here inside of this one. That previous round was the first one we've seen in a while where it was just an absolute shutout one way. And while it came down to this 1 versus 2, I felt like strategically throughout that entire round, all gamers had the grip on it, were firmly in control of the reins. They now go down to this basement to make what will be one of 2 final rounds of regulation here. Do they qualify to the major, or do 4 Angry Men force us to yet another overtime?
Well, the drones identify a lot of these positions, a lot of the information needed to make a potential push here. But once again, we talked about it round after round. It comes down to extensions, locking out that first floor, getting the vertical play active as quickly as possible. Once again, we're seeing the RAM being brought on to open up a lot of that flooring. The boogie drone causing a lot of problems for a lot of teams when you can't hear anything and your floor directly above you is absolutely being destroyed. So for now, AG, they will work as long as they can with the clock, slowing down the clearances that need to be made. 4 AM need to get first floor control.
That they will. Charge on through now, using that shield. But I still peek on the drone hold there, so it really wanted to try and find something peeking through that one. I don't think it's going to come to fruition, but I've got to respect the game. I've got to respect the idea here, because without much effort, we've already been through 60 seconds of the round here, and 4 Angry Men, they'll get control of this first floor side, or try to work towards it at least, but ultimately, they've not got it just yet. They need to work through a little bit more, cover their behinds, make sure no one's going to sneak up behind them, eyeing up that hatch now, trying to get this one open before they can start to apply the vertical onto the site.
Well, immediately, nade is going to be prioritized, getting that hatch opened up. Rockstar will send through. For one at home, for your viewers, if you put a nade into a floor, you have a high chance of removing the Kaid off the hatch. It's a beautiful idea, especially when you've got a bunch of soft breach. So, removed straight off. Goyo charge sent straight through. And it looks like as the time is ticking down, the Echo drones will begin to provide a decent chunk of information, but there's the logic bomb.
Ring, ring, your phones are going off here on the side of all gamers. Nothing to spring of it though, and that's my concern right now. 4 Angry Men just sitting, using the information not to regress, not to push forward, but instead just to hold their ground. Darkly going to be taking a little bit of damage there up through the vertical site, but will still be alive. Nothing to worry about too much just yet. 35 seconds to go on the clock though, Tiaki. They need to move fast.
30 seconds. The timer ticking down. The 6th defender causing quite a few issues. Capital is going to be damaged up quite quickly, but the worst thing about this timer going down is that there's still an Echo up and available. Diffuser will attempt to be planted, but it's shut down not by Echo drones but by shots. TX only will find solo mid to open up a potential opportunity in towards the site. 2 players going to be dropped. It's Yaz, and he's got the diffuser in his sights. 3 seconds remaining. There is not enough time. AG managed to win it. They secure their spot into the Salt Lake City Major.
Massive plays there from Yaz, playing that with nerves of steel. The only thing you can expect from players with years of experience, but in their debut season here in the CNL, all gamers get it done in 2-0 fashion. And while they were pushed on the maps individually, here they will find themselves the victors and will be getting themselves those tickets onwards to the Salt Lake City Major, like you say, Tiaki. And you can see what it means to these guys. They were within sniffing distance of Paris, almost at the most recent invitational for the game, but here finally they get to make their international debut in Utah in a few weeks' time, and I honestly cannot wait to see what these guys show us on the main stage.
What an accomplishment from this team. They struggled for so incredibly long, but they managed to find their way through a 4-2-0. This was a great showing of how they've been playing so far and the struggles that they've had to get to that end point. It has been incredible to watch them play. And yes, as you mentioned, they were pushed quite to the edge. Let's just make that clear. 4 angry men should not go home sad at all. That was an extremely rough fight from them, and they put up a great one. Great resilience from them, and we're hoping that they continue with that sort of run going through as they continue their run in the lower brackets. But, I mean, congratulations to them. They've made it to the Salt Lake City Major.
They've made it all the way through to the Salt Lake City Major, and they will actually be, I believe, our 6th team to qualify through to the Major. We've had our 4 EML teams, and we believe we also qualified through Weibo Gaming this morning over in the APL. So it's nice to see we're starting to add up some more teams towards this one, start to really build up this roster of Major. And I'm honestly here for it, Tiaki, just to kind of see who is going to be kicking off, who's going to be the one to start the show, because it's a new region. We don't know what they've got to show us here on the international stage, and when the Major kicks off in a couple of weeks time that's going to be on the 8th of May, and that's only what, 3 weeks away? That one's going to be an absolute heater. As for now though, we do have an interview coming up with the victors, all gamers, coming up after a short break. Oh, we're live. We're live. I can't see it on the feed. What do you mean we're live? We are live. Wait, hold on, production. Am I talking to the people, or am I just like? We are talking to the people. Okay, well, welcome back everyone to the CNL. Unfortunately, we had a couple issues getting the interview going. It is on its way. We're just told to wait patiently for it one. But the highlights from this game coming through on the screen. Tiaki, what a series that one was.
Oh, look, it was absolutely incredible just to see the playstyles coming in from both the teams. Of course, we expected some aggression coming in from AL. Jesus, I keep saying it every time. AG, and of course 4 angry men showing up in big numbers on both games, both rounds, both sets from both of these two teams, and it was just absolutely huge from them. I mean, you got to give it to AG. They just played so well. Small mistakes, small errors, still here and there, but 4 AM on point.
作为选手，你是如何看待这张图的节奏与强度呢？赛前我们又是做了哪些针对性的准备呢？
对，然后对于我们自己来看是非常平衡的一张地图，至少进攻和防守没有说绝对哪边优势。
可能对于你们来说非常平衡的原因，是因为你们做到了非常充足的准备。回顾了整场比赛，你觉得队伍今天打的最漂亮的回合是哪一回合呢？可以给我们去复盘一下当时的思路吗？
最漂亮的是我们去打那个浴室办公室的人。
哦，确实。
然后他们说就是 solo me 的说可以下包嘛，然后我当时觉得他们能下包，那我就贝特他们一下，我就藏起来。然后确实打到后面，他们下完包之后做反清，他并不知道就是码头外面
还有个人，你在那里。是的。那么第一局我们发现是打到了加时赛，真的是非常非常精彩。你们在防守方的干员选择和道具布置上，和我们平时的常规战术相比，做了哪些的调整呢？
应该会有就是体系化的去做准备嘛。如果是光陷阱位的话，那我们选择出来的陷阱的角色就会多一些。然后如果是说防听电啊、封墙、拖延时间，可能就会用到电盾了。按我们的防守体系来，对。
原来如此哦，学到了。就是大家进行赛后复盘的时候，可以把亚子的这段话反复的聆听啊，这没准有一些 AG 的战术、一些小巧思在里面。那么从晋级图来看，你们只要稳住胜者组的节奏，就能够这样直接锁定总决赛的席位。你们现在有没有信心冲击更高的位置呢？
非常有信心。
保有信心的，对不对？有没有什么话想要给到我们屏幕前的所有的 AG 的粉丝们的呢？
我想对支持我们 AG 的粉丝们说，我们还在战斗，我们在继续战斗，
我们还有野心，还在奔跑。好的，再一次感谢我们的亚子选手参与到了我们赛后采访环节，也再一次恭喜 AG 战队获得了本场比赛的胜利。那么今日的赛程已经全部结束了，后续还有更多精彩的比赛，我们赛场再见吧。
Yes, and the big MVP, Yaza, jumping in from the side of AG. He was absolutely beautiful during both games, playing exceptionally well, and as we'd expect, coming from all members of AG.
He is indeed coming up huge, going up absolutely massive there inside of that one. Things we do love to see. They're really doing a great job there inside of that series to help AG get over the line on that final map of Lair there. Really great stuff from them, Tiaki. And honestly, like I've said a couple of times today, you know, just to kind of round out things as we draw sort of towards an end here. All games, they've done a phenomenal job, and I'm glad they've made it to their point, but I really do expect to see 4 Angry Men at this major as well, right? They put up a phenomenal fight today, and they were the only team to make it look close going towards the side of All Gamers, right? All Gamers have basically been untouched all league long, bar for that, I would argue, a blip on border earlier against Wolves. They've looked pretty dominant, so the fact that 4 Angry Men are able to look so competitive, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to be making Salt Lake City.
Oh, absolutely agree, especially with the way that 4 Angry Men have been playing so far and throughout the entirety of their campaign going through the CNL. It's just been absolutely incredible from them, from bottom to top. And where they are now, yes, they've been knocked down to the lower bracket, but we do expect to see them making their way through. In saying that, we've got a bit of... well, I should say we have a few games coming up tomorrow. King Zero Esports going up against Tyloo, and My Queen going up against Edward Gaming. The winner of both of those 2 matches will move their way to the upper semi-finals, competing once again for another spot in the Salt Lake City Major. Then moving on to the upper finals up against All Gamers, while the loser will be knocked down into the lower quarter-final to go up against either the Wolves, either one of the 2 teams that end up losing in that first upper bracket quarter-final match. So a lot of different and interesting games to come on, but we've got 3 sets of series coming in tomorrow. Things to keep an eye on, that's for sure.
It's going to be an absolute heater tomorrow, isn't it, Tiaki? And the Siege action doesn't stop there. You've got SAL in a few hours. You've got OS, your home region, on first thing tomorrow as well as EUT2 going on at the moment. So there's plenty to get your teeth stuck into. But as for us, we're going to go get some sleep, get some rest. Wonderful. Thank you very much all for watching. And we will see you all same time, same place tomorrow for day 2 of the playoffs here in the CNL.
Bye.
Something, good night, whatever, Mitch. Ah!